Picture this. The city is dark, and you see headlights flickering on. Not for driving, but because electric cars are literally powering homes. It's wild to think about. But could blackouts actually turn drivers into energy suppliers?
Yeah, and today's May 13th, 2025. We're going back to last week's blackout in Spain and Portugal. 18 hours, millions of people without power. Suddenly, electric vehicles became more than just transportation. They were running lights, heating, medical devices. So how did we get here? And what does this tell us about the future of energy?
Exactly. The interesting thing is, the blackout wasn't because there wasn't enough electricity. It was the grid itself. The infrastructure just couldn't handle a cascading failure. And that's a really important difference. Wind and solar kept right on generating power, but the distribution network, the wires, the substations, couldn't deliver it. So homes went dark.
Yeah, and daily life just stopped. No lights, the fridge is off. Heating or cooling barely working. Public transport shuts down. Businesses close. People get stranded. Even hospitals had to switch to backup generators. Smaller clinics, pharmacies, they really struggled. Communication was patchy too. Cell towers failed. Internet dropped. Was there any warning at all?
Not really. The blackout hit suddenly. But the twist here is how people with electric cars responded. Thousands used something called vehicle-to-home, V2H, technology. So they plugged their cars into their houses. The car battery kept the fridge running, lights on, even powered medical equipment for some families. For them, it literally meant the difference between comfort and, well, real hardship. And here's where it gets interesting. Some people had extra battery capacity and actually sold electricity back to the grid for a short time when it came back online. They made money during a blackout just by owning an EV.
So, in a way, this was like a large-scale test. Can households really rely on their cars as backup batteries? Do you think this could have happened even 2 years ago?
Not at this scale. The spread of V2G and V2H tech in Iberia has been quick, but this was the first real high-pressure test. It worked better than most people expected. Experts are saying this could force policymakers to rethink what an EV is.
Wait, you mean not just a car, but what, like a kind of energy asset?
Exactly. Think of it as a flexible part of the energy system, not just a car. That's a big shift.
But the grid itself, this event really exposed the weak spot, right? Even if you've got all this renewable energy, if the grid can't deliver it, doesn't matter. So, is the answer just more renewables, or does the grid need to get, I don't know, smarter?
It's both. Renewables held up. They kept making electricity. But the blackout was really about the wires, not the wind or sun. Smarter grid management, investment in upgrades, more decentralization, all of that's crucial. The more flexible the system, the quicker it bounces back from something like this.
If EVs become a regular backup, does this change how we plan for emergencies? Like, could policies start requiring bi-directional charging? Maybe incentives for using your car as a backup.
That's where it seems to be going. If you can turn your car into a home battery and even sell extra power back to the grid, it changes how we think about both energy and transportation. Policymakers are watching. We could see new incentives, regulatory changes, and more investment in bi-directional charging all over Europe.
But there's a fairness issue too. Not everyone owns an EV. During the blackout, a lot of households without one really suffered. How do we close that gap?
That's tough. Expanding access to V2G could mean community batteries or shared resources, maybe. But the bigger thing is, this blackout started a new conversation about who gets to benefit from resilience and who doesn't.
On a global level, this feels like a preview, technology turning a crisis into a testbed for new ideas. As climate events and grid failures get more common, do you think places outside Iberia will try this?
Definitely. The potential for EVs to help in emergencies is huge. If people can actually make money by helping stabilize the grid, it's a win for both resilience and sustainability. Other countries are already watching what happened as a kind of blueprint.
So in short, a blackout exposed the grid's weaknesses, but it also showed how EVs and smart tech can help people get through and maybe even come out ahead.
And chances are, we'll see a faster move towards smarter, decentralized energy systems everywhere. Thanks for joining us as we broke down how drivers became energy suppliers and what that could mean for the future.
Stay with us for more stories where technology and crisis meet and change the world. Thanks for tuning in.